is Nandi. I'm the midwife here. I'll just be doing your upper and your lower extremity assessment today. But first, what is your name and your date of birth? Beautiful, that's who I'm looking for. Just to let you know, this should take about 15 minutes. I'm just gonna go through looking at your different parts of your body, just checking out the range of motion, how things move and how things look, okay? Again, we are in a private space and I washed my hands prior to this. Do you have any questions before we begin? All right, and if you have any questions throughout the process, you just let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. At the top, I'm checking out your temporomandibular joint. So while I'm inspecting, I'm just looking for symmetry here. Make sure everything looks normal on both sides. Can you open and close for me? Nice, and I see a nice smooth motion there. I don't hear any clicking. Do you feel any clicking when you're doing that? Beautiful. All right, everything looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and palpate that mastoid process. I'm just checking to make sure everything feels smooth. I don't feel any nodules, no heat, no swelling, any tenderness when I touch. Beautiful. And go ahead and open and close for me again. Nice. And this time, kind of tilt your jaw outward and then from side to side. Nice. That's good range of motion. I'm gonna add just a little bit of resistance. Can you do that again? Beautiful. So everything looks good there. Let's move on. So let's move on to your neck or your cervical spine rather. So again, I'm inspecting, make sure that clavicle looks good, your trapezius muscles look symmetric. I don't see any presence of atrophy. It doesn't look red. To me, your skin condition looks good, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and palpate. Again, checking out those muscles, the clavicular area. Everything feels smooth. I don't feel any atrophy, any tenderness while I touch. Nice. Let's check for range of motion. Go ahead and take one ear, bring it over to the shoulder closest to you, and then the other. Beautiful, smooth range of motion there. I'm going to add just a little bit of resistance by holding your head. And the opposite side. Nice job. Everything looks good there. Let's move on to your shoulders. So I'm feeling out your shoulders, or excuse me, I'm looking at your shoulders. I'm going to look anteriorly and I'm also going to look posteriorly again, making sure that there's symmetry here. I see that your bony prominences look the same on each side. I'm going to go ahead onto the back. And bony prominences look the same on each side. Everything looks placed properly. Oh, I forgot to mention for your neck that your head looks erect and your neck is aligned and straight. That was one thing I forgot to note to you verbally. Checking out your shoulders, so everything looks good. Your skin condition looks good. I don't see any swelling. I don't see any redness. Skin condition looks great. I saw that your scapula looks good, and your shoulder muscles look intact. And like I said, there's no atrophy there, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and palpate. Just feeling here in the axillary triangle. There's no adenopathy. Feeling the tops of your humerus, the epicondyles, your trapezius again. Everything feels normal. There's no thickening, no atrophy, no tenderness, correct? Beautiful, no tenderness. So let's check out range of motion. So with your hands, you're gonna sweep them up towards the ceiling and then back. Nice. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of resistance. You can kind of sit on the side of the chair and I'm gonna add some resistance. And beautiful, that muscle strength looks good. Let's go ahead and move on to the elbows. So we're just working our way on down. So checking out your elbows. I'm just looking closely to look at those bursas to make sure that there's no swelling. Again, there's no redness. I don't see that there's any nodules there. Everything looks pretty smooth, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and palpate by supporting your forearm, and then I'm just gonna feel with my fingers here on the bursa. I'm feeling down in those joint areas. I'm gonna feel on the top of where your arm extends and where it flexes. Everything feels smooth to the touch. Any tenderness as I'm palpating? Again, this bursa feels normal. No tenderness, beautiful. Just feeling all around. And I want to check out your range of motion, so if you can extend for me, and then flex. One more time, extend and flex. That looks nice and smooth. And I'm just going to add some resistance here, okay? And the opposite way. Beautiful. That looks good. Let's go ahead and move on to your wrist and your hands. So with your hands out, I'm going to check both sides. Nice. I'll just make sure that there's no nodules. Your skin condition looks good. Those joints look straight. I see that your fingers are nice and aligned and straight. Nothing protrudes off to the side. I see that normal pocket or bulge from on the side of your thumb rather. Beautiful. That looks good. So let's go ahead and palpate. So by supporting your wrist, I'm going to just take my hands on the top. Then I'm going to check out your metacarpals in between, make sure there's no thickening there. Check in between your knuckles, make sure everything feels smooth. Then your interphalangeal joints, I'm going to feel, making sure that there's no thickening there. And then on the opposite side, just feeling everything on the tops and the sides. I'm specifically feeling on top of your wrist, making sure that those joints and the bones on the top feel normal. Those bony prominences feel normal. And I don't see any signs of atrophy. Any tenderness while I did that? Beautiful. So let's check out range of motion. So if you can, you're gonna flex and extend. Nice. Let's do the Phelan test. So this is gonna kind of reenact if there was any compression from doing things, just letting you know if you have any anything that would make me think that you have carpal tunnel. This is a good way for me to find that out. So you're gonna take the backs of your hands together. You're gonna hold it for 60 seconds. Nice. So when that 60 seconds is over, let me know if you feel any tingling in your fingers. Do you feel anything? No. Great. Sounds good. Now we're gonna move on to the tunnel test. So I'm just gonna tap or palpate rather on the inside of your wrist right here. I'm just making sure that there's no reaction in your hand. Nice. And that is negative. There's no presence. There's no reaction in your hand. And for strength, I'm going to have you lay out your forearm on the table here. And then you are going to work against my arm or my hand rather, as I pull outwards, and you're going to pull inwards. Nice. And that strength feels good. You're pretty strong. I like it. All right, let's move on to the hips. So I'll take a closer look at your hips when you're standing, and I'm actually inspecting your spine, but let's go ahead and start with palpation. So I just want to make sure your iliac crest feels normal and that there's no crepitus. Beautiful. So with range of motion of your hips, go ahead and lift one, and this is as if you're a supine. You're going to lift one leg up towards the air with your knees extended, and then the other. Nice. And I'll just add a little bit of resistance. You can kind of push against my leg, or I'll hold rather, and you'll lift. I'll hold and you'll lift. Nice. Good range of motion there. Good muscle strength. Let's move on to the knees. So with you now sitting again and letting your feet dangle, I'm just checking everything out, making sure that there's a nice straight line from your legs down to your feet. Your toes point forward. I'm making sure that your feet don't have any nodules. Everything is aligned. Doesn't make me, when I'm looking at your feet, doesn't make me think that you wear improper shoes. Again, skin condition looks good. Everything looks bilateral. I don't see any reason to think that there is any atrophy there. So I'm going to go ahead and palpate. So starting at about 10 centimeters above your knee, I'm just going to feel here, kind of in a grasping motion, making sure those muscles feel nice and smooth, working my way down. I'm checking out your patella and the backs of your knees here. Checking out that that bursa there. Also checking out your quadricep muscles on the backs of your legs. I'm gonna come over to this side, do the same thing. Checking out those muscles, making sure everything feels nice and smooth. There's no nodules. crepitus. All right, let's check out range of motion. So you can go ahead and extend your legs and bend them. Nice. And I'm just gonna add some resistance here. You can push your legs against. Beautiful. And everything looks good there. Let's go ahead and move on to your spine. But before we do that, let's check out your feet. So again, I've already inspected them. I've seen your range of motion in your knees. I'm gonna check out your feet again, make sure that they're both aligned. Toes are facing towards me. There's no bony processes. I'm gonna go ahead and palpate those metacarpals, supporting your feet here. I'm feeling those metacarpals with my thumbs, and then the interphalangeals. Let me come up a little closer. Interphalangeal. Beautiful. And then for range of motion, if you could flex your feet inward and outward for me. Nice job. And that looks completely normal. I'm just gonna add a little bit of resistance for that strength. And everything checks out there. Now we can move on to your spine. So I'm gonna go ahead and back up. You can face the wall so that I can see your back. You can lift up your shirt here, take it completely off. Beautiful. And I'm just checking out your spine, making sure that everything is nice and straight. Your scapula looks good. Your trapezius muscles look good from here. I see that everything is equal on both sides, and that those spinous processes, like I said, are nice and straight. I'm gonna go ahead and palpate, okay? My hands are nice and warm. Just checking out that spinous process, making sure everything is nice and straight here, all the way down and the way back. Let's check out range of motion. But before we do that, I'm gonna check out your spine from the side here, making sure that you have that normal concave in your back. And so that when we do your range of motion, by touching your toes, I can make sure that that concave in your back does go away. And beautiful. When you do that, I see that it is gone and everything looks normal there. All right, you can have a seat again. So that concludes our exam. I hope that you feel a little better about your assessment, that you feel good about the condition of your lower and your upper extremities. Do you have any questions or concerns for me? No? All right. Well, you know how to find me. Just give me a call if you have any questions or concerns that may come up in the future. But yeah, other than that, you have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.